Welcome to the OC Bitches.
Welcome to the OC Bitches. Today, Rachel, we have a very special guest.
Very, very special.
Very special guest. Once again, this person needs no introduction.
No.
We are on season 2, episode 7, The Family Ties. This is a particularly frustrating episode for me in so many different ways. Today, we are joined by the one and only Tate Donovan.
Woo!
Heyo, do.
It's all fantastic.
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 My personal favorite guest of ours, Tate, is back with us. We're so happy that you're here.
I don't know. You guys have had some really good guests.
Well,
I mean, Gallagher, Cassidy,
Yeah.
Schwartz, Savage, Buckley. Those guys are A-list.
I love that you're listening to the podcast.
Oh, totally. I'm totally addicted to it. Ever since it's terrible. It's terrible. It's so much fun to hear everybody's perspective, especially Brody's. To me, Brody's 2 episodes were fantastic because I admired him so much on the show. And, but, he sort of he sort of broke my heart when I directed. And then, we had that sort of stuff on Watch What Happens Live together. And then we're not together. And then, but listening to him and his perspective on the whole thing was fantastic. It was so great. It's so healing.
good.
And,
we're doing a lot of that here.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
I know. It's great. It's
Therapy
so good.
sessions. We just need Misha next.
Yeah.
Misha and Ben. It's okay. It's gentle. It's kind. It's loving. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, Misha, she's so good in my last episode. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get
that's
to
what
that.
we're going to get into today.
So thank you for being here and sticking around for this episode, because I got to tell you, this episode, more than any, recently, I can just picture the day it aired, which was when we figured that out. January 6th, 2005, it aired. I can just imagine people the next day surrounding the water cooler and going on and on about what Jimmy did or didn't do in this episode. This was the water cooler episode more than any.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ugh.
I was talking to the TV while I was watching it. I was like, what?
And I have some specific memories, and I know Tate does as well. But let's do the synopsis.
Let's do the synopsis.
Let's get into it.
Now that Lindsay is Kirsten's sister, can she also be Ryan's girlfriend? And can Seth become a bad boy so that he can impress Alex? Jimmy decides to leave for Maui after realizing his relationship with Julie and his time in Newport has not been good for him or his family. Marissa doesn't take the news well. Zach confides in Seth, yet Seth blows his cover, causing trouble between Zach and Summer. And there we have it.
Yes. Directed by Leslie Glatter, written by Drew Z. Greenberg and somebody named Josh Schwartz. And like I said, January 6th, 2005.
Okay, wait. But before we get into this episode,
Yeah.
I have both of you here.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, Tate. You guys, Julie and Jimmy, first of all, I love you guys together. But you guys had a very hot and steamy sex scene.
I know. I was totally shocked how much making out we did. I mean,
Mindy blush.
we just went at it.
You
It was
really
just
did. But it was hot. I was like, okay, they're feeling this. Not,
I
as actors.
know.
But you guys were so good together. That was a hot little sex scene you had on your hands there.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Yeah, but I had to
was
bring
like,
it up with
man.
both of you here.
Well, we did this before when we were talking about it, and I turned bright red talking about
Mindy
it.
can't handle it. She gets very
I don't know.
verklempt.
I don't like watching, I don't know, sex scenes on TV or film can be kind of, sometimes they're, good, like in Top Gun, and then sometimes they're just not. I don't know.
Well, this one was very good.
But what about the amount of kissing that we did? I was just extra. In the script, I'm sure it just said, they kiss or whatever. But we were just you know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
And I was like, God darn, I miss those days, Because nobody wants to see me kiss anymore, I don't get to kiss anybody anymore. I'm like somebody's lawyer, or somebody's dad or something.
I mean, Julie is Julie Cooper, Nickel Cooper, Robert's bullet Atwood. She had all those men, but she never made out with any. Well, no. She did make out with Sandy in the alternate universe, and she made out with Chris Pratt in the alternate universe.
What?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
This is my mind being blown once again.
I think I've told you that my daughter, CG, she has a TikTok, and it's all it is dedicated to my mom's made out with my celebrity crush, Ian Somerhalder, and Chris Carmack. And anyway, she goes on. That's her whole shtick on TikTok about who her mom's made out with. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I hope I made her TikTok because.
I better go.
I don't know if CG can handle that scene, you guys.
I know it's pretty heavy.
Hot and heavy.
Anyway,
I know.
moving
No,
on.
are we moving on?
Yeah.
Mindy's uncomfortable. It's fun.
No,
We
I'm
should
not.
talk about it a little bit more.
I couldn't wait. Actually, that's why I was upset. I didn't want, you can tell that the actors in this episode, we didn't want Tate to leave.
No.
And I mean, it was real tears.
Oh, watching it once again. Yes. Was I hysterical? Of course I was. But this was like extra because you're leaving. And I was just, it was heart-wrenching. I mean, especially the dynamic between you and your daughter and just being like.
Yeah. I thought you meant, was I hysterical funny? Of course I was.
Yeah, that's me. Tooting my own horn per usual.
Anyway, we start in the Cohen kitchen. And of course, Ryan's there just trying to do his homework. And Seth has to dissect the idea that Kirsten and Lindsay are sisters, and you have to ask yourself that question: is she your girlfriend or your aunt? And I noticed that they used a real picture of Kelly as a teenager, and you know how the prop guy always comes to you and says, "Do you have any real pictures?" And I was like, Kelly was a brunette. She was.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think that Shannon Lucio and Kelly look alike, but we buy it for the show.
Yeah, there's similarities.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big theme, with Ryan dating Lindsay, who is kind of his sister, and
it's the beginning of trying to explore if this really is weird, because in technically there's nothing really weird about it, but just even accepting anyone, a brand new person, as a blood relative into your home, it's hard.
Well, yeah,
when that happens, somebody you didn't know about.
Well, her whole adult life.
I would imagine, that whole sort of new sister, or new relative thing is kind of crazy.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bizarre things in this episode.
What I liked is the first scene starts that whole sort of beat of Ryan being the good guy and Seth trying to be the bad guy. He's like, Ryan's doing his homework, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, you're studying now, and
can you punch someone for
like
old
that.
time's sake? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, it was hilarious. I love that whole beat of Ryan not having to be, because that's more Ben's. Ben is a really smart, nice guy. Like, he's incredibly academic. I mean, the fact that he had to play this sort of like tough guy, I think it was harder for him, much easier for him to play. Like a really smart guy who does his homework,
right?
Because that's
closer to him.
Really,
and we're noticing that in season 2. He's really kind of, it's fitting him like a glove for sure, because it's very, very, very much like Ben, I think.
School lounge, Marissa and Summer talk about DJ meeting Marissa's dad. Well, we'll get to that later. That's a sure shocking scene. Zach confides in Seth.
So Zach shows up. We haven't seen everybody because we didn't see each. It's been a few weeks, right? Because they weren't there for
it was
the
winter
holiday.
break. Yeah,
they've been at holiday, and then all of a sudden Zach pops up with this like look on his face, and he wants to tell Seth about the very weird things that we're learning about Zach. That he had a tutor who's older than him, who's getting divorced and has kids, and he hooked up with her
when he was 14 or something. Didn't he say?
They were date. She was my math tutor when he was 14, but she's an old girlfriend. So the perfect guy isn't, well, I guess perfection is subjective, right?
But he confides in Seth that he hooked up with he saw her in Cabo. By the way, Squid Row. I remember being a teenager in Cabo, going to Squid Row.
Oh, it's a real place.
Oh, it's a real bar in Cabo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, let me tell you, ratchet.
What were you doing as a teenager in a bar? I don't understand.
That's what we did in California. We went to TJ
LA
in
kid,
Mexico.
Yeah. We had to go just south of the border. Oh, God. Anyway, it's brought back memories. Not good ones. A lot of puking involved. So he confides in Seth that he hooked up with this old girlfriend while he was in Cabo.
So we haven't seen Lindsay since the Chrismica miracle that you gave her. And she said, remember, she didn't want to be around the Cohens or anything. And then you bring Christmas to her
house.
So what's been going on? And all of a sudden, Ryan and Lindsay say hello for the first time. But says that she's gone through some therapy and she's okay. And that they're going to be, she says, let's be more than friends. So there's that. So.
Right. Let's move right on to Jimmy's boat.
Okay. Oh.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, come on. This is what the people want, okay? This is what they want to hear.
Right.
Jimmy's boat. Jimmy and Julie together again.
She gets the news that Caleb is out, and that's it. He's not going to prison. I guess that's it. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? What are you doing?
What are we doing here, Jim?
I just want to know if we swapped tongues at all during that scene.
Yeah, do you guys remember?
I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it looks like we did.
You probably did, but I know, don't you always hear in television, the rule is no tongue. And then sometimes you get slipped that tongue by someone and you're like, whoa.
Yes,
whoa,
right.
Whoa.
I don't know. I think we both have big enough lips that it worked.
But I love this scene with you guys because you really see Julie wants to be with Jimmy.
Well, and it's you can see, obviously you can see the duality and the conflict going on in their heads. I think Julie was literally he's going to prison and now here I am back to my life. And, they know obviously, so the wheels are turning, right? And she does, even I kind of bought the seduction or the chemistry that they had together.
1,000%. I really feel that your characters love each other. In this scene, you can really see it.
There are a lot of things, you're married. There are things that, if you were to get rid of all the things that are difficult about a relationship, there'd be that intense attraction, right?
Right.
So now they don't live together. Now they don't have to worry about all those little, the domestic shit that people get pissed off about, the petty stuff.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So now it's boom, there's that magnetism that's brought them
They're
back
on a
together.
boat. You know what I mean?
I'm on a boat.
Nothing, come on.
That's right. Marissa is bringing DJ to meet Jimmy. But what do they see when they show up? Julie and Jimmy.
Yeah, and you would think do you think some kids would be excited to see their parents?
Yeah, that
sure.
was curious to me. That would be like there was no side of her that was kind of thought that might be kind of cool because every kid wants their parents to get back together. Pretty on some level.
Right.
Right.
But I do think we were kissing so passionately that it would have turned off any child. It was
right. Even if she wanted them to get back together, she still didn't want the visual.
The visual. It's too much.
That is a really good point.
It's
pretty gross.
But no, we're finding, it's an interesting, we are really seeing the depth of the hate and anger and pain that Marissa is going through. And her parents are just clueless. Right? It's it's intense.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are clueless or you're just,
I think they're still
avoiding.
Self-involved. What they're doing is selfish. And self-involved. And
totally.
It's never deviated from that. And you know, trust me, I have not been the perfect mom. And there are moments where it's to actually sometimes have the empathy that your kid is feeling can be, that's a skill sometimes.
Yeah, watching this episode now, I am just I was left just crushed for Marissa.
Yeah.
Yes.
She is truly abandoned. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh God. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Well, let's get into just our other storylines that are going on. But Rachel, no. Is it just the Julie Jimmy story?
Yeah. That's all I want to talk about. No, so Seth is dating Alex. He hasn't seen her over vacation. He goes to see her. The door is answered by a shirtless man, a very attractive shirtless man, I might say.
Yeah. We haven't seen Alex this hard, Now all of a sudden she's got these people coming out of her apartment, which is a real apartment across the street in Redondo Beach. I found out, by the way, because that's actually a pretty choice place to live for somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's
like hungover, and you're seeing that she's.
Yeah, she's hard. She is the bad, although she's just so hungover. And when she goes, it's nice. She's just trying to get Seth out of her way. But he takes it as she called me nice, and then that brain of Seth starts going, and it can't stop.
He has his little hamster wheel going.
Yeah.
She called me nice.
Out. It was funny in this scene. The girl that walked out of her apartment is actually one of my oldest friends from high school.
I remember Veronique.
Veronique, yeah. And she auditioned for Josh and got the part, and she's still to this day. She's like, that was the best day of my life.
She was the girl saying, "We're going out for smokes and beer."
Get some beers.
Yeah. So Seth has that hamster wheel going. He's obsessing, and then we go to a great scene in the kitchen with and he's going on. They're Seth, Ryan, and Sandy. They're making dinner, and he's trying to figure out this relationship. She said, "Nice," and Sandy says, "Come on, shuck that corn," and he does that thing with the corn. And I love the reaction of Peter just laughing in his face of Seth trying to be tough guy. And I'm like, I wonder how much, that really was Adam. I'm sure it's written in the script, but he does those
little Brodyisms.
Those Brodyisms that are super funny. And then, of course, Kirsten, she wanted to do something nice for Lindsay. So she shows up at school, and they go out and have coffee. And apparently now she's brought her back to dinner. And if she thinks that's awkward, it just gets even more awkward. So she's there for dinner. It's just awkward all around. And we're doing a good job of making it awkward, aren't we?
Yes. Yep.
We're recreating the awkward.
We are.
We want the audience to really feel how awkward everything really was.
Yeah. So Marissa confronts Jimmy about making out with Julie in a teary lecture. For once, I wish you would grow up and be like a real dad.
I thought Misha just did a great job, coming out, and it's like, honey, how did I miss you and DJ? And she just goes, oh, because you were making out, and you go, your acting is just so like, what? What are you talking about? Huh? What?
I'm so shocked at how casual I treated the whole episode. I'm it works in that scene because I'm trying to get away with a lie at first, and then I'm caught and la 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 la. But there are other scenes where I'm so casual, and I'm actually embarrassed. I'm like,
are you talking about your acting performance?
Yeah, my performance.
Really?
Yeah. Way too casual on someone. If I was directing me, I would be like, okay, raise the stakes, man. Raise the stakes.
You mean you would have told the director, oh, I don't read scripts. I smoke pot. That would have been that episode. I get it though. I get in this scene how you are being, casual. Like, what do you mean? Like, not a big deal. What are you talking about? Like, I understand.
Yeah.
I think there's validity there, but I remember us shooting, and I remember you, Tate, being frustrated. I think this is a storyline that it could have taken a few more episodes to Jimmy's exit could have taken a few more episodes, but you know how we work so quickly. But yeah. But I remember you being a little bit frustrated.
I was totally bummed. Bummed.
Yeah.
I was like, well, first of all, I was being written off the show, which sucks.
It's hard not to take that personally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to take that personally, and I just felt like it didn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm going because I have a job in Hawaii. Like it just didn't ring. And I tell her, oh, it's because I want to be a good dad. Like, what the hell? Like, it just really, and I talked to the director about it, and she was like, yeah, I don't get it either. It's really, so she didn't help me at all. It's really funny when it's all over. I'm like, oh, it's not about Jimmy, even though the episode is Jimmy's. It's about putting Marissa in this terrible trajectory.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter why I leave. I just have to leave.
It services the other character's
storyline.
storyline.
Yeah, it services the other character. And so actors don't like to think that they're there just to service other characters,
Right.
But so it's really funny watching it because all these years have gone by, and I've always felt like Jesus, what a shitty way to leave a show.
I was never great about taking a multivitamin, but with Athletic Greens, I feel like I'm finally getting a handle on my nutrition.
There are so many stressors in life, especially these past 2 years. Has it been 2 years? My goodness. And maintaining effective nutritional habits is difficult. These stressors like poor sleep, work stress, the environment, or simply not eating enough of the right foods can leave us deficient in key nutritional areas.
AG1 by Athletic Greens, the category-leading superfood product, brings comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition to everybody. Keeping up with the research, knowing what to do, and taking a bunch of pills and capsules is hard on the stomach and hard to keep up with. To help each of us be at our best, they simplify the path to better nutrition by giving you the one thing with all the best things.
Yes, I think gut health is really important to me. And to know that this product actually digests well and absorbs. A lot of supplements out there do not do that. And I know I say this every podcast, but it's how I start the day. No coffee, no breakfast. I just start the day like that. And it really helps me get going.
Yeah, for me, it's just been the best thing to have on hand because it's so easy and simple. Just one scoop, and I'm taken care of for the rest of the day.
For sure. It's amazing to think that just that one tasty scoop of AG1 contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients, including a multivitamin, multi-mineral, probiotic, greens, superfood blend, and more in one convenient daily serving.
The special blend of high-quality, bioavailable ingredients in a scoop of AG1 work together to fill the nutritional gaps in your diet, support energy and focus, aid with gut health and digestion, and support a healthy immune system, effectively replacing multiple products or pills with one healthy, delicious drink.
To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you an immune-supporting free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase if you visit athleticgreens.com/theOC today.
Again, simply visit athleticgreens.com/theOC to take control of your health and give AG1 a try.
So one of the most important things in my life is my relationship with my husband. You know, every healthy relationship, it takes work, it takes effort. There's nurturing and healthy conflict resolution. You know, I'm so happy that we actually found this app called Relish, which can help us with those conflicting times, and it also can help us have a lot of fun together.
Relish is such a fun relationship tool. It may seem cheesy, but I love that you can get notifications that your partner has left you a love note in the app.
With Relish's lessons and exercises, you really do feel more connected to your partner.
I would recommend this to anyone in a relationship, especially if you ever feel kind of distant from your husband or wife, boyfriend or girlfriend, which, by the way, is totally normal.
The quizzes are my favorite part. Each one is about 10 questions long. So it only takes a minute or two to complete. And I'm learning so much that I just didn't know about my partner, but also about myself and how I can be a better partner.
Relish is offering our listeners 50% off their Relish subscription. Go to hellorelish.com/OC to receive 50% off today. That is hellorelish.com/OC.
You know, when I watched it, I was like, it still is kind of a shitty way to leave a show. But I sort of saw it for the first time. I'm like, oh, it's not about me.
Right.
Interesting.
It's about Misha Barton, or it's about Marissa, and it's about the other characters and spinning them off into an exciting storyline. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Well, and that's the thing that we do on this podcast. We talk about the characters like they're real people, because there's that, we've said this before, where it's like, okay, why? Because that's the way it was written and that's what we had to get done. But the fun part of it is being a water cooler show, like I said. So it's like, oh, you couldn't have done this and that. But in this scene, I do see that Jimmy still, just when they had this moment in the scene before with Julie and Jimmy, where she's like, really? And then they end up getting together once again, that it's that, they're living in this fantasy world. And this is the first time, Marissa gives him a dose of reality, and he's thinking, this is the scene that makes him change his mind, that I can't be here and I can't figure this out. So it was a very powerful, and it's like, I wrote that the child can be the wisest, and it is a powerful confrontation that makes him choose to I got to do something, and whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, she's 100% right in that scene.
Yeah.
Marissa, Yeah.
Well, I just remembered. I mean, I have very, very vivid memories of. So it's in the script that Seth is in one of Ryan's wife beaters, and it's just. I guess we're supposed to change the name of that too. I don't know what it is. White tight tank top. Okay, but that it's supposed to be baggy on him, and Adam is in good shape. He's not that much smaller than Ben.
No, he
Ben,
was surfer. He had muscles.
So I remember costume. For some reason, I just remember this, that they had to get like extra, extra large and actually stretch it out to actually make it look kind of...
He looked so ridiculous.
It looked totally... to make it look ridiculous. But...
he's trying to have that bad boy image.
Could you imagine? I found a picture of Adam, and it was an episode of Judging Amy, and he was all gothed out. And I was like, okay, he can play bad boy. But yeah. but I love it. He's like, what about that wrist cuff and that choker? Could you imagine if he'd done that?
Choker.
Oh my God.
I know, that would have been so good.
So good. But still to this day, why? Okay, so the bait shop, Modest Mouse, which is huge, was on the show. Huge.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
I thought there was something interesting about Modest Mouse. There was a quote from Isaac Brock that said, I've always just tried to make really weird music that also has pop appeal. And it kind of reminded me of Josh, of his, weird, his approach to, the way he writes.
Right.
It's kind of, it has pop appeal, but it's got a fresh new flavor.
Yeah.
The OC.
Right.
That's kind of
that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
It comes from a sort of human truth or, individuality and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Very unique stuff. But he somehow turns very unique situations into very popular shows.
running meta commentary. And it's like
that's
this.
True. Yeah.
It's basically, Seth's voice or Josh's voice through Seth commenting on everything. And of course, what does Seth do in this scene?
Oh my God. So he approaches Alex with a flask in his hand.
A big shiny flask in a bar.
Oh my God, I know.
Which would never go down.
No, it's my good friend John. It's like, my good friend John or Jim or Jack.
Well, and John, Jack is the nickname for John. That's why, that's what.
But Jack Daniels is the...
Right. But then when he goes John, it's like, I thought he was trying to be cute because Jack, it's like, no, John.
He just keeps getting it wrong.
I thought it was Johnny Walker Red. It was the kind of whiskey.
Or there is a Johnny.
John. You know what? Any J male name, it'll have a liquor. Yeah. So you're safe.
But I love Olivia Wilde. I mean, I watch her and her acting choices at such a young age. She's like, just watching him. She's just magic in every scene.
Agreed.
Yeah, I remember I ran into her. We had costume fittings. And there was like a buzz about this new girl on the show. And her costume fitting was ending and mine was starting. And so I was like, oh, where are you from? And I just expected her to be like some LA chick, or whatever. But her parents were like in the government, and she was incredibly well educated and well spoken. And I was just like, wow, this girl is
married to a prince
at the time.
At the time,
an Italian prince.
She was married to a prince at the time.
An Italian, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And
she got married super young.
She was just so sophisticated.
Here we are trying to get her on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
I think she's busy in production.
Well, maybe she needs to hear this and heal from it, and then she'll be like, you know what, Tate Donovan wasn't, he wasn't so bad in that costume fitting, asking me all these questions about my parents.
Yeah, I guess you got
I thought they
into
were
it with
journalists
her, huh?
or something. Journalists in government and
journalists. Yeah. I just was impressed.
She was great to talk to.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Smooth,
And look where she's doing wonderfully. Yeah. So then we go to the Cohen house, and here, I forgot to highlight this one. This is the big one.
Yeah, this is the bomb drop.
So here is what I liked. Well, actors don't like exposition. And you got a whole monologue of exposition on why I'm leaving Newport Beach, right? So Jimmy shares with the Cohens that I've fallen in love with my ex-wife. And Sandy says, you were married before Julie?
And then Kirsten immediately is like, you felt bad. You're in love with Julie?
She instantly goes, oh, yeah. Yeah. And you say something here that's actually, this is where I almost started feeling I understand it. When you say, I can't be here and be with Julie. I can't be here and not be with her. So it's almost like an addict or somebody who needs to go for some rehab. I have to go away and get my shit together so I can come back. And sometimes that's what human beings need to do. They need to put their head down, go away and be by themselves. And unfortunately, even at the risk of harming your kids. So that's the only line that kind of made me go, he doesn't know what to do and he can't. So then you go through your list of things that you've done all year. Mm-hmm. And I remember you being particularly not happy saying that monologue.
Is that accurate?
That's a scene where I'm disappointed in myself a little bit by letting my feelings about the lines affect my performance. And it sort of comes out too casually because that's what I do when I don't like something. I'll just sort of slough it off, you know. I'm scared to like really invest and have a lot of meaning and thought and emotion behind the line if I don't, you know. So that scene, I'm just a little. You could just tell that I wasn't happy with the way I was leaving, or just the fact that I was leaving, which, you know, it works. It still works. I just wish I could have done it. I wish I could do that scene again.
Whenever I've been given, because in television, a lot of times, like if you have the luxury on a film to show something going on, or if you're in television, you have to you have to explain it step by step. Those can be the hardest. That can be the hardest dialogue to pull off realistically. And it's, totally. You know, when you do a list, like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, this happened, it's because we don't have the money to actually show it or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought the performance was lovely and I understood it, but I can see where sometimes our feelings, it can be a very challenging thing.
For sure. I mean, I more was just like, thought it was so crazy that Jimmy was leaving like this and his reasons and Maui or whatever, but I never ever questioned your performance. Like, I thought you handled it wonderfully. It was more the like just being perplexed by just the situation and how they kind of wrote you off.
You know, it would be fun. Well, at least for me,
reenact it right now.
Why did they get rid of Jimmy?
Honestly,
I think you were too expensive. No, just
I don't think so.
Can I just say something though to the dialogue? So here, I was watching this again, and I was like, "Wow, you know, I got punched out. I almost went to jail, bankrupt, and then I've fallen in love." And I'm thinking, Jimmy's taking responsibility. Look, and he goes, and then I've fallen in love with the woman who caused all this. And I went, oh. Yeah. That motherfucker, he's not taking responsibility. Right, and everyone's still blaming it. Of course, Julie has something to do with it. But but I'm like, wait a second. Julie didn't cause you to your actions. Anyway.
That's a really interesting thing about my character, is that he is an incredibly nice, casual, good guy who does really terrible things.
Yeah.
Defrauds his neighbors, is in love with the next door neighbor and, not his wife at the time. Now suddenly I'm back in, the hots for you, but, and abandons his daughter. And it's sort of like, oh, wow, like, I don't know. It's just always been interesting to me. Like people are like, oh, Jimmy, I love Jimmy Cooper. And the producers were all like, "Oh, Jimmy's a great guy," but he's not a great guy. And just because I have a very casual, relaxed, nice delivery doesn't make me a good guy. It's sort of like you pointed out, like I'm still blaming Julie Cooper. I mean, that's bullshit.
Well, and then he tried, and he admits, I tried to kiss your wife. He had to throw that out there, and then then he tried to kiss her. Dated Haley, Then went back to Julie. Now all you have to do is date Lindsay, and that would be really weird. Think about it.
There's the storyline they missed.
Then it gets really awkward and incestuous.
Yeah, but you know what? But Tate, you're such a likable human and person. And that's what you're saying is like, yeah, Jimmy did really shit things, but everyone was still like, I love Jimmy. I'm watching this and I'm like, I fucking love Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like, I want Jimmy and Julie together and I want you to stay here for, it doesn't even cross your mind because of you.
Hey, I have a question for you. Because we know that Jimmy comes back and Julie and Jimmy have more storyline to tell. Did you know when they said you're leaving the show, will you come back for guest spots? Is that when you negotiated to direct, or did you know if you were coming back for guesting at all?
No, I didn't know. No, they just, yeah. They just were like, you got 7 episodes, and I really wanted to come back and direct, and
nice.
They were good enough to let me do that.
Yeah, because you came back for a number of episodes. Coming back for
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Well, wait.
There were,
I don't want to spoil.
3, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't know.
Cats are carnivores that need a lot of meat. Everyone knows this, right? But you know what? I didn't know that leading cat food brands are often filled with fillers and grains and very little protein. That's why I switched to Cat Person Food. It's everything my cat needs to stay happy and healthy. High quality, high protein meals delivered right to my door, and they'll do the same for you. If you order your starter box today, now I've arranged for Cat Person to provide an exclusive offer of nearly 50% off just for our listeners.
Cat Person is protein packed, 50% more than industry standards, and only uses wholesome ingredients. The food is grain-free and low carb, so there's no room for the unnecessary fillers you find in many other brands, which can cause digestive problems.
Meal plans are fully customized for your cat and perfect for cats of all ages. There are 16 easy-to-serve wet foods and 3 different dry foods, so you'll be sure to find the combination your cat will love. And they always ship for free with the meal plan. My cat, Ziggy, is a seafood lover. He's so funny. He only likes seafood. And he has been eating the salmon and tuna dry food and the tuna wet food and the salmon tuna. I think there's a mackerel one too. He's so funny. He loves it.
So my sister-in-law and my brother, they have a cat. They're big cat people. So I recently told them about this, and they are so looking forward to getting their starter box. It includes 10 cups of wet food, 1 2-pound bag of dry food, plus an entire set of serving spoons, silicone lids, and a scooper.
Yep. My cat Ziggy is a funny eater. He's a classic cat that he's totally picky one day, and you never know what he's going to like, but I kid you not, when I opened this cat food, the dry stuff, he's a really loud eater, and he was like, he enjoyed it. He eats really, really loudly, and he scarfed this stuff up. That's the only proof I need. Ziggy's happy, I'm happy.
You and your cat are going to love Cat Person as much as we do. Go to catperson.com/OC and use code OC to save nearly 50% on your starter box with free shipping. That's catperson.com/OC, code OC to get nearly 50% off your starter box with free shipping. Catperson.com/OC, code OC. We are all busy and can find an excuse to not work out. I mean, it's hard for me because let me tell you, anytime I have downtime from my kid, working out is not the first thing on my mind. But you can kick things off with a resolution you can keep. It's not about crazy workouts every day. It's about making the most of the time you have. And for me, that's working out with Beachbody.
And Beachbody lets you stream over 1,500 of the hottest workouts from top trainers to all of your devices. Your TV, your phone, your tablet, anytime, anywhere. I love to work out in front of my TV. Seriously, at any time of the day. Honestly, just whenever I feel like it. And it's so easy to download on my TV. I was doing one just the other night in the middle of watching Yellowstone.
You can try any of their programs for free for 14 days. That's what I'm doing. Why not?
Yes, I highly recommend the Morning Meltdown. It's only 22 minutes and designed to do in the morning so you can start your day feeling strong and accomplished, or try Bar Blend. That helps give you that long, lean look like a dancer. I think that's what Julie Cooper would be doing. Yeah.
Join us and start for free today. Go to beachbody.com/OC to get 14 days totally free. That's beachbody.com/OC.
Results vary based on starting point and effort.
Can we go back a little bit?
Yeah.
And talk about your eyes in these scenes that we make out. I mean, your eyes are insane. They're so beautiful. I mean, your makeup and the way the light is hitting your eyes. I was like, holy shit. Anyway, sorry. I know that's ridiculous and out of nowhere, but I don't know.
No,
It's
I
like
like
the
it.
first time I noticed how amazing your eyes are, amongst other parts of your body.
Well, I have really, it's interesting. I have really, really light green eyes. So they look almost gray, and they can actually look really evil. So if I had to wear blue contacts once, and it made me look like really sweet.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so thank you.
I don't think Tate was going that your eyes made you look evil.
Yeah, no, not evil. Yeah. Not evil.
It looked like
Although the
a
things
siren.
I want to do was wrong. What I was thinking.
I'm really liking what's happening
Very
here.
bad.
Can I just tell you how much I loved your hair? And
I know. I had good hair. I had good hair back then.
You still have good hair.
You still have good hair.
Guys, I just want to let you know I
great.
looked it up and he's in 5 more episodes after this.
Diana, our
What?
producer, you're in 5 more episodes after this.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
See?
You came back
That's
for
hilarious.
5 more.
I thought I was like gone. I thought I came back for like 1. That's hilarious.
That's really
Oh, my God.
funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Huh.
We're healing. We're healing. It's okay.
Yes.
Therapy.
Okay, but we're back at the
Bait Shop, Modest Mouse. It's still playing, which is cool. Ryan and Lindsay are so awkward.
I don't
He holds
mind.
her pinky.
So yes, so the pinky hand holding thing.
Yeah.
And of course Lindsay's like, outside talk. She doesn't sound like a 16-year-old. She sounds like
Very
slightly
mature.
Very
Yeah.
mature, yeah. But
I liked that. Zach tries to tell Summer about what happened over the break, but he's interrupted by a drunk Seth.
Modest
Your
Mouse.
breath, and I love, Summer's like, your breath smells like Marissa.
Totally. That's awesome.
You're
Oh,
drunk.
my God. What a line.
That's
oh,
amazing.
God, I know, right?
Yeah.
He's hilarious drunk. Drunk Seth might be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
so
He's
because
ridiculous.
hilarious in this
Because
episode.
He is.
He
Hilarious.
sounds like, how many people, I do that. I don't like clubs and loud places, but for some reason I shout, hey, it's like, calm
But that's
down.
like when you're shooting a scene and it's supposed to be like at a concert or something, but there's no sound and you're just yelling the scene. It's always so awkward.
Yeah.
Because you have to
Yeah, I know,
remember, like,
totally.
oh, I would be shouting here. It's just like
Right.
silent and you're
Right.
like, hey!
So she's cool with the tutor. What tutor? Because I thought for some reason I
Oh.
thought Zach was up to something, but then, obviously.
No.
Yeah. Nothing. Okay, so
He's like a golden retriever.
yeah. So Seth screws that up. And then, of course, Lindsay's calling Ryan out for acting so weird. And they start this conversation, but they're interrupted because Alex is like, get him out. He's puking. He's ruining everything. Get him out. And
Then Ryan drives a drunk Seth home.
this is one of my favorite scenes ever.
It's
and
so
I still
funny.
quote it to this day. Where he
What do you
goes,
quote?
well, he goes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then rolls over parkour, like whatever he's doing on the.
Off the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seth, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
drunk
it's really
Seth.
good.
Well, and now that we had this interview with Adam where he said, there's nothing I love more than to make people laugh. And that would mean my crew. And so I wouldn't tell anybody what I'm doing. And he would make these choices and just, he loved seeing like
I'm
You-
laughing
Yeah.
my ass off.
you
to be
imagine
honest.
our focus pullers and and all of our crew just like giggling, and because it was always so cool when one of our guys would come up to say, I just saw that you're on the call sheet, and I get excited when you're on the call sheet because I know I'm going to be entertained by the scenes,
Yeah.
So our crew was in it too. They were with us.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of actors don't realize that the crew
Mhm.
is invested in the quality of the show.
Mhm.
They're not just there holding a boom. They want it to be funny or good or well written and well acted. They're into it.
They're with us. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
they're
right
totally
there with
with
you.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
Dave, our boom operator?
Oh yeah.
Like he was like in every scene. Like he was basically like the other.
Who's Buzz Feachin's best boy? Anyway, but he used to say, "You remind me of Lucille Ball when you come on set." I'm so excited whenever you come on set. I look at the call sheet and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna have Julie scenes. It's gonna be fun." That was the best reward to me. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that reminds me of that Brody over the car stuff. Those are the scenes when they say "and clear," print clear. Let's move on. It's just fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to Jimmy's boat, guys. Back to the boat. Jimmy tells Marissa he is moving.
For only 6 months, maybe. But Marissa, she's like, didn't expect that. She gave him this like, please grow up. And her shock. And she literally goes, wow, okay. It should be interesting to see how things go, which is basically a threat or a fact. Like, we'll see.
Yeah.
You're the only thing keeping me sane.
Right.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Oh,
But
terrible.
It's terrible. I know, watching this and you're like, I'm leaving. And also there's a goodbye party tonight. Like, I'm just like, this is so rushed. Like, what? I was so confused by the unraveling of like, yep, nope. I got a job, going to Maui, leaving, peace out, daughter. And there's a party tonight. And I'm leaving in the morning. It was it felt very rushed.
I know they threw that party together really well,
Real fast.
really quickly.
And the nautical theme is very cool.
I know. I was like, are those nautical flags?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Okay, but we get a very wonderfully acted hangover scene from Seth. And the dude was in full blackout. That should be a warning, Seth. You should be careful because Ryan's like, have you talked to
any of the people of the destruction?
He goes like, have you talked to Alex? No. Probably because of all the vomit. And he goes, vomit? How much vomit? Like 6 cents, girl in the 6 cents, which is Misha.
A little wink wink there.
Yeah, or the Monty Python. And then he, what was the other one? Oh, and then he ruined the relationship with Zach and Summer. He's like, oh, broke the bro code. And then when he goes inside to Kirsten calls, if it's not my son, the wino. Oh, you guys found out? Like, he doesn't remember anything.
No. Nope, blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Then, I guess we could really quick, Summer's room, Zach shows up with the novelization of The Valley Season 1. And she has a few lines here, like referencing, like, what does she say? Like,
She
says,
says-
a tutor. It's not an 80s movie where she like helps you get into Princeton.
At least she should have been a hooker and helped you get. Did she at least? If it had been a hooker and helped you get into Princeton,
Right. And I had to Google. I'm like, what
Did you?
80s movie is this referencing? Not because I don't know it. That is just a result of my memory. But it was Risky Business.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, a duh.
Risky Business. And at the time, there is, this is another meta thing. There were novelizations of the show at the time, and all kinds of and I looked it up again last night. Alan Sepinwall had written his book, but then there's others books, and you can go, there's all kinds of new escapades with Seth and Summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can read about.
I'd like to know what we did.
Yeah.
All right, we're at
Jeez, that's
Jimmy's
crazy.
party.
It's highlighted, Jimmy's party.
It's very highlighted.
How could you forget?
What a
How could
shit
you
show
forget?
this party is, huh?
Not a good party.
Oh wait, but this starts with it's a very small little scene. I think people jump over it, but this is Allendale. Love him when he walks in and so Kirsten opens the door. In walk Julie and Caleb, and he instantly goes, sad day when Jimmy has to leave. Remember when? And both Julie and Kirsten just walk away mid-sentence. And he goes, that I took him out to dinner. And it was like, just his
good
dialogue.
moment.
He plays everything so straight,
He
but
does.
it's so funny.
It's so good. Okay, so we're at the party. Seth is trying to sneak out of the party, I guess.
Yeah, he says he comes down the stairs and he tells Ryan he's going to sneak
Right.
out because he's been grounded. We've kind of skipped that part where Sandy was like, Seth originally said, I know this is the hangover is the punishment enough and I need to go talk to a girl. And he's like, oh, the girl who thinks you're too nice? So now he's trying to sneak out during the party.
But I couldn't believe this. When Julie shows up at the party, you have no idea at this point that Jimmy was leaving.
You would think you should have told her, right?
You didn't tell Julie.
I know, that is so crazy.
So weird. She like
That
arrives.
was another thing.
I mean, at your going away
So
party.
we go into their bedroom. And,
You're going to their bedroom, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many things here.
There were so many things.
Yeah, I think we both had trouble with that scene. I sort of remember being like, how are we going to do this?
It's interesting that you say that. But before we go into that, Sandy's like, hey, I'm going to miss you. And sorry we didn't get a better turnout, which it seemed to be quite a few
it seemed
extras
like there were a lot of people.
Yeah, there were. Yeah,
right.
Good.
But then he's like, oh, how'd she take the news? And, I haven't told her yet. And Sandy's like, good luck with that, because that's going to be scary.
I know.
Lindsay shows up and the exchange with Caleb. Now, this whole thing about Lindsay trying to become part of their family. And then what's Caleb doing? Caleb's not even trying to do anything. He's like, oh, hello, Lindsay. Now that's awkward. Like, that's her dad.
Yeah.
And she's not even.
I feel like it's appropriate for Caleb, though, to be super awkward about it and like not really.
And just like, I'm going to go find. Yeah.
Okay. See you later.
Yeah, not deal with it.
Not deal with it.
Right? The classic,
Okay.
Classic avoidance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Jimmy and Julie are in the bedroom. And
yes, you are.
here's what. So this is interesting to go back and remember this, because I remember going to set that morning, knowing that we were doing the scene, and the way it's written, because I think what's interesting, there's something called indicating, in acting, where you actually
you don't want to do it.
You're not supposed to indicate.
You're not supposed to do it.
Happening.
You're not supposed to indicate, because Julie cries at the end of this, and it's only like the second time we've seen her cry. She cried when Marissa. When she was okay after the Tijuana debacle or the hospital thing. But I remember thinking like it was one of those scenes where it was written just like she was pissed off. It says that she's pissed off. And I remember she's like, what, you weren't going to tell me? And for some reason, I saw it, I was choosing to show how painful and hurt she was already at the beginning of the scene instead of letting it happen at the end of the scene. And I don't know if you remember that, but I just was like, I couldn't go for some reason. That's what you saw was what I was feeling, and I felt like, you jumped the gun, but I think it turned out okay. But I remember having some acting choices that I wasn't quite sure, walking away at the end of the day and not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
For some reason?
I remember just, I mean, you knew I was going away, so you felt hurt right at the start of the film. So that makes sense that you would be emotional at the start of the scene. I think it did. I remember specifically when a script says that she's angry and then all of a sudden just burst into tears. It wasn't, when you try to do what the script says, it didn't work for me the way the script, the stage direction. Sometimes we have to ignore the stage direction and do what works. And instead it was just like, I've never seen that look on Julie's face, like, oh, fuck, you're leaving. And then he says something that I was like, what? And I have to, that you have to go back to Caleb and my life with Caleb. Oh yeah, that's a great story. And Jimmy says, at least it's real. And I was like, what does that mean? Meaning that's the reality. You and I aren't reality. And the scary part is that you're going to leave me again, Julie. Like so it was interesting.
Tate, as a director, like if you see that and there's stage direction, like how much do you feel like you have to stick to that? Or do you kind of like, work with the actor and not worry about that? Or does it depend on the project?
Well, first if you're directing TV, first you go say, if you have a little like, why is she crying here? You have these great things called tone meetings, which is you go over each scene in detail with the writer producer and they're like, it's really important that Julie cries here. Or they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. We just wrote that to make sure that, she knew that it's important. So you sort of get that idea what the writer really wants. And then, while you're doing the scene, you're just trying to help the actor. If you see him lost or getting, not very specific and just sort of, then you try to make it specific and a little more detailed. But, I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember shooting that scene, not really knowing what it was about. I just remember you and I just being just a little bummed, like the whole thing was just a little bummed.
Yeah.
But you know what? It kind of works.
Yeah.
Like how we feel as actors about a scene kind of helps sometimes the story.
Well, and when you think about, so when she does start crying and puts her head in your shoulder, and we've never seen Julie go, do you have to go so soon? Or, just be that vulnerable.
Right.
And and when Kirsten comes in, it's not, she instantly goes, we're just saying our goodbyes. And this goodbye, James, goodbye, Jules. This is the survivor. And Julie, like, she's going to, pop right back up. But I think the scene worked, but I'm commenting on it because I remember it wasn't written the way we performed it.
Interesting.
That's what I remember, or at least for my part of it. Yeah.
That's good that the director let us do it our way.
Then we get into some really intense stuff here.
Yeah, Marissa shows up.
Well, I kind of love that right before that, I love that you're sitting there by yourself. Summer's just like, and then Ryan and Lindsay show up and they're like, finally, someone I know. And you're like, kind of a boring party, which is just a fact. It's like, because parties aren't usually boring, but it was like, it's not a complaint if it's a fact. Right?
Yes.
But then,
especially for a teenager, though.
strong acting
choices. A goodbye
choices.
party for some old dude, like Marissa's dad. Ridiculous.
Right,
Summer loves Jimmy.
Oh, but then Ryan goes, not for long.
Right.
Yeah.
Marissa and DJ show up.
He's like instantly sees her like, raw.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Marissa, this is very intense.
This is actually a great scene.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic scene. And
she does such a good job.
I have to call this out. So the song is called Soul Food, Martina Topley Bird. And it's kind of like this like club, but they mixed in the orchestration of our like this, and it gets more a warped feeling as the scene goes on. And I had to listen to it a couple times, and I'm like, okay, whoever edited, whether it was Matt or Norman, these are the things that really took you into this like warped headspace that Marissa's going on, and how fucked up our family is. Sorry for my cussing.
Speaking of fucked up, when they show up and she's drunk, and you look at Dee and you're like, tequila? Like, that is so fucked up.
Okay, yeah. Well, and Marissa, what a great line where she just throws her arm and says, well, if it isn't the Wicked Witch of the West Coast, yeah. And she's like, what are you, drunk? Now, racist Julie comes out and goes, let me guess, tequila? I mean, she instantly
God.
blames
I know, my
it.
mouth honestly like dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
She instantly blames, Julie assigns blame to everyone else and everything else, just the way Jimmy assigns blame on Julie.
Typical narcissist behavior if I've ever seen it.
Yes. Yep.
Oof.
Totally. And then, of course, you try to break it up. And she's like, and Julie says, see? And that's the other thing I have to say. Jimmy's leaving, and I have to take care of the kids. You didn't ask me if I'm going to take care of the kids. Like, your responsibility. Like, see, you're leaving
like,
me. You're leaving me with what's so screwed up, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
She's like, of course I'm screwed up. First she calls me a whore, and then she says, Dad, tell us why you're leaving. And she doesn't actually say it, so no, not everybody knows.
I know. I was surprised. I thought that was coming. I thought Marissa was about to put you on blast, like to the whole. Caleb and everything else.
That would have messed with the Caleb storyline,
okay.
Right? Because again, so she said a thief and a slut, and yeah, that was an intense one. Although the next episode, really I think she's okay.
Yeah. You know how it is in television.
She rebounds very quickly.
Really quickly. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
she like overdoses and basically dies. But hey, the next day she's totally fine. Right. Her dad leaves. She's destroyed. The next day,
Well, and then what does Jimmy do? He has some wine with Kirsten.
I know.
and asks her to keep an eye on her. And she says, but my dad's in that house. And he goes, yeah, exactly. I mean, there's like, somebody's like banging Jimmy over the head. You need to stay.
I know. My God. Of all the scenes, that scene is my least favorite in terms of my acting, because I think I'm just so awfully casual about everything.
Oh, you mean when Marissa goes in the drunk scene? Or with
no,
with Kelly?
That scene.
With Kelly. Or
with
sorry,
Kelly,
with Kirsten.
With Kelly. as an actor, I wasn't feeling the weight of what was going on. I was just sort of saying the lines because I don't know. Yeah, I just missed it.
It was
I missed a lot of opportunities in that scene for sure.
But it was such like a weird thing that they presented you with, kind of out of nowhere, and you had to deal with all of that and leave and your daughter and this, your life. And, I think as an actor, it would be really hard because it was just so rushed and kind of.
I mean, you'll always love your first love, and I think that's what the scene was about. And at least, and it was, and they're safe together, so they can say, it seems like, I'd be moving to Maui. I mean, Kirsten. Here's the thing that we're finding, and because I know what's coming, I'm looking for these Easter eggs about what's going on with Kirsten. And inside, she's screaming. She's got some, between her dad and Lindsay and all of this stuff that's coming up because she's going into some rough times coming up. But when she says things like, I could be moving to Maui with you if we'd gotten married. And, there's, it's pretty... they still talk to each other like that. And, she still has feelings. And I think they still have a very true love and respect for each other. But yeah, it was kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It had to be wrapped up very quickly.
Let's just cover it all.
But, it goes to the thing where it's not about Jimmy. It's about his effect leaving. So there's no good way. You just got to get him out, and it's about the repercussions on the characters that stay.
Right.
It's just at the time I didn't want to be the one leaving.
Right.
There's sometimes we get presented with things that are difficult, and sometimes when in doubt, do nothing is the thing that it's like the non-acting acting.
Yeah,
it can serve well, I guess.
Caleb's car is stolen.
I so remember.
What a car, too, man.
I mean,
Jesus.
Oh my gosh, that's my dream car. I remember when they got that car and it was in the parking lot. You know how we had everyone had their own parking spaces, and it was there because the powder blue Aston Martin would be my dream car. And I just remember it being there, and we had it for a number of months, and I never got to ride in it.
You didn't?
I don't think so. Did you?
Oh, that's terrible. And you were married to the guy, too.
Yeah, what crock of shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, no. But I remember, for some reason, talking with that valet guy, the actor.
About what?
I don't know, but he was a nice guy. But I just remember. But I remember he said, so bad news, your car's stolen. Or, bad news about your car. And because Julie's like, I just want to get out of here. Like, she's just got the sourpuss look on her face. And he's like, what? You scratched my Aston Martin? He's like, no, sir, it was stolen.
And where is it? Well, it's with Seth at Alex's. And he drives it over because now he stole a car. Crashed it. My mom threw me out. Just kidding. So, yes, he has stolen a car because he is a bad boy.
Right.
But not.
He is.
He's really not at all. The cops show up.
Alex.
Is this your car?
Yeah, she's like, I like you. You're a good guy, and that's why I like you.
Right.
Finally, she says that. Yeah.
Please stop this hamster from spinning. And then Summer's room, Zach is stuck at Summer while she's out. Oh, her stepmom blocked him in because she's like,
you're still
here?
Zach, you're still here?
Yeah. He's like, well, your stepmom blocked me in. Now, is she sleeping or is she
okay?
That was so good.
It was so good.
She said, no, just heavily medicated. What do you do?
Yeah. Cassidy.
This was our first fight that wasn't about Cohen. He's right.
Oh, right.
I don't know if he's just like the best or if he really is such a the perfect manipulator.
No, I think he's such a genuine dude, this character. I don't think he's a manipulator.
Yeah,
well, don't ask me. Oh, does he become one?
We'll see.
Really?
I don't know.
See, this explains so much in my life, like some of the people I have chosen. I'm just kidding.
Oh, we've all been there, Rachel. Right.
But how about going back to Zach's, like talking about your mom? I mean, that to me was a classic OC moment where, like, this is major. I mean, could you imagine if your mother could be mistaken for dead because she's taken so many pills. You know what I mean? Like that's serious stuff, you know? And yet it's just like a funny kind of cool line. And it's exactly how teenagers would handle something like that. You know, like it's just like, oh yeah, whatever.
I picture him going, Mrs. Roberts?
Like poking her. Totally.
Like a mirror to her mouth.
Like, hello? Oh.
You're right though, Tate.
Yeah,
like it's actually like a serious thing. And we're like, oh well. No, she's just, overdosed.
Yeah, and he sort of he genuinely asked that question, you know. That's he's so good. He's so good.
So good.
She says, it's not what happened, it's that you told Seth, which I get that. And Summer is pretty realistic here. She's like, she's mature. She forgives him at the end of the scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just gonna go to the beach, but I guess we shouldn't say that Lindsay and Ryan are making out and Kirsten
that's a big
walks
one, yeah.
in the middle of it. But doesn't pick up on it?
Oh no, no. Yeah, so they're kissing and Kirsten doesn't catch them. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other scene.
Yeah, we're thinking of the other scene. Okay, anyways. The beach.
That's the second time this episode that she misses something big. You know what I mean? Like she walks in the beginning and doesn't notice that they're talking about that. And then she walks in on them kissing and doesn't notice that they're kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So people don't think Kirsten can handle. Yeah, well, Kirsten can't handle certain things. And we find out that she does. Obviously, the truth, you got to let people handle the truth. Or at least go through it and lean into it, as Jack Nicholson would say.
You can't handle the truth.
Right. Yes, I can.
That's the one thing I can handle.
It's going to be painful for a little while, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll recover.
Yeah, trust me.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go to the beach, you guys.
Well, Seth does show up, and I love when he shows up and he goes, "Hi, someone called the cops." And so, of course, Sandy is furious. But yes, here's the scene that here we are at the beach. DJ and Marissa are at the
DJ
lifeguard.
called Jimmy.
Good guy DJ.
Good guy DJ.
Yep.
Very cool.
He is evolving.
Yeah.
This scene is fucking heartbreaking.
It really
is so heartbreaking.
And Misha, if you're listening, if you ever listen to this, amazing. Literally amazing.
So
this
good.
To me wasn't acting, it was real.
Yeah.
It was so real because I think she genuinely
don't leave me. She asks her daddy.
I know.
My
so
heart,
vulnerable.
dude.
I know.
Don't leave.
I know. So good.
And
the only thing that popped out for me is this shot of me walking on the beach before I get to the lifeguard stand, and I've got this big sweater on, like over my sweatshirt over my shoulder, and I just take one look at that, and I'm like, oh, that's not for me. I'm gonna give that to her for sure. Like it just seemed like I didn't have it on. I remember like, how are we gonna give this sweatshirt? I'm like, you don't want to take it off and like, here you go, honey. You have that, like just have it ready at the go. And it just seemed, I don't know, so convenient. Like I happen to have this sweatshirt because I think my daughter is going to be cold in this scene.
Well,
but anyway,
that is a parent thing, though. I feel like you're so overly prepared as a parent.
Yeah.
But like,
it's interesting. If you talk to a script supervisor, they're going to notice things like hair back and forth, like the continuity. If you're looking at it as a director or an actor, it's like we all look at different things when we're in this profession, things that kind of, but I
pop for us.
And also that USC is Josh's alma mater. So
I know that was good.
Right.
It's mine too, by the way.
Oh, is it?
I went to
I didn't know that.
USC,
There you go. Okay, so then it was yours, duh. Okay, so they gave it to you.
Jimmy's probably went to SC. He looks like an
everyone
SC
from
guy.
Newport went to SC.
Yeah, totally.
So, but
it's where he learned how to swindle people's money.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It is interesting how painful it was and how just genuine and raw and please, Dad. And it's like, it's only going to be 6 months. You can come visit. And finally she goes, okay. I thought she very quickly said that, but I got to tell you, I got to share a personal moment because literally when I was, CG was 10 when I was doing a show in Toronto, and 10 through 13, 14. And I would have to leave. Instead of coming with me, I flew back and forth. And there was one time in particular, but she literally did that. Don't leave me, mommy. And I'm like, I gotta go. And it was that heartbreaking. And it's like, and that's like, I have to go. And it's like, do I really? Yeah, you kind of have to. And it's just like, so in certain circumstances, parents do that, and it's so painful. I don't know.
It's like making me cry right now. Like I had something similar too, and it's like when your kid is like, I can't even go into it.
It's the worst. I know.
And I really felt it watching this. I mean, I wasn't just crying. Like I do cry a lot. I was fucking ugly sobbing.
Yeah. Oh,
it was so sad.
Yeah, I mean, because she's in such peril when you know, like, I mean, she is really abandoned.
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I just felt for her so much.
I know.
The whole episode, all my feelings about leaving and you know, how I left sort of went out the window when I at the end of that scene. I was just like, oh God, poor Marissa. And then I realized, oh, that's the purpose of this.
Yeah.
Of me leaving. And it made me feel a lot better about the whole thing for sure. She was so good in that scene.
Yeah.
You know, and it's as much as we're saying, you know, oh, the parent would never do that. We just gave 2 examples where we had to leave our kids, and it was fucking real.
Yeah.
And
there's
and you
nothing
know what?
worse.
And as painful as it is, the thing is, human beings learn to survive. We're survivors, and we learn from that. And we, you know,
I spent a lot of therapy that you can survive anything.
Right. Well, and then yes, and then of course it ends with The World at Large by Modest Mouse and
Marissa in the Cohen kitchen.
She shows up with bagels, and I think this is and also as painful as that scene was. This was wonderful to show that Marissa instantly goes where she sees a family unit that's safe, and she needs to be around. So when she's completely abandoned by her blood family, she has a chosen family that she can be okay with.
Yeah,
so
right. She learns how to schmear.
Yeah,
you know?
She gets to give you a little hope.
Listen, when life hands you,
she actually handled that scene equally as well, because she's really reticent. I mean, you just see this sort of pain on her face, you know, and she doesn't, you know, Sandy really has to, coax her out of her bad mood, and everyone is there. I thought it was great. I thought it was like the perfect ending, and they sort of pull away, and you just see them in the background, you know, of this kitchen, and and he's going on about schmearing and bageling. You know, I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought it was really
bageling. Bageling. You just made up a new.
You coined it. Yeah,
Sandy Cohen bageling.
It can be a verb. It can be a verb too. Yeah,
bageling. Yeah. No, and Ryan has his arm around her, and that for me.
Yes.
I was like,
that was very
you know what? That's real love. Like, you know.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, they don't need to talk about it. They just need to like show. I think showing has so much more power, you know, than talking about things. You know, I saw my dad off. How's that? It's okay, you know. And now,
yeah, it's great.
You don't need
really
bagels to show up.
Bageling.
Well, that is the end of the episode, and. See ya. Bye. No, just kidding. You go.
I'm just gonna hide behind the microphone, and you guys can talk.
No, we're talking that Tate.
Yeah. Now we can really say how we feel.
We have a funny. We have what are we doing?
Are we doing rapid fire?
We're gonna do a little rapid.
Will you
fire.
answer some rapid fires?
Sure. I know.
All right, we're gonna say it, and then you go. Do you want to start?
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Favorite bagel?
Oh, everything.
And everything bagel
Me too.
that you're bageling.
Yeah.
Favorite 80s movie?
Oh, God.
Love Potion number 9.
was that 90s though?
Of mine? Yeah. God, favorite 80s movie? Jeez Louise, that's a terrible question to ask. I don't know. With Nail and I.
Oh.
What?
It's a great British movie
What's it
about
called?
two actors. With Nail and I.
With Nail.
With Nail?
With Nail. Yeah, it's like
Definitely
this
going to be
crazy
watching it.
drug-addled British actors who go to the country. It's so damn funny. It's so good.
I'll be looking that up.
Just check it out.
Yeah.
It's really good. For actors, it's hilarious.
Okay, great. Okay, Maui or I say that funny. Maui or OC. What's wrong with me?
I've never been to Maui, so I'm going to go OC.
Aw. Vintage Aston Martin or vintage Porsche?
Ooh, wow. Aston Martin for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So at the time while we were on the OC, I don't know if you guys remember, but Brody bought a vintage Porsche.
I don't.
He did.
Oh, that's
He
right.
found it
yeah.
in the ads. I think it wasn't that much money, but we drove somewhere. He drove and bought. I don't even know if it ever worked. Maybe it worked once and he drove it to work. His grandpa car.
Okay, dog or cat?
Dog.
Yeah. Tequila or Jack?
Tequila, for sure.
Tequila. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Are you? Oh, yeah. Because you're
Yeah.
doing like marathons
Yeah.
and Ironmans and everything.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Are you still doing that?
No. I mean, I do like 10Ks and stuff like that, but I don't do, and I swim and I ride my bike, but I just don't do races or anything like that.
I remember you did an Ironman out in Malibu. And
Yeah.
you won. And I brought you a bottle of champagne. I was like, you won. My hubby
You won
Yeah.
Ironman?
Well, I won the celebrity division, okay?
Well,
Slight
who are you
difference
up
than
against?
winning. I was up against some like pretty. David Duchovny, by the way, is like the fastest swimmer you've ever. He swam for SC or something like that.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
super.
And you
but not a
smoked him
very
anyway.
fast. No, he smoked me in the water, but I got him on land.
Yeah, you did.
you tried to talk
you know-
me into one. You're like, you could do it, Mindy. I'm like,
Yeah.
3 miles running.
Yeah.
I started working a little bit on that. I'm like,
No.
No.
Well, that is
They're pretty fun. They're
Yeah.
pretty fun.
That's
anyway.
quite the accomplishment.
Oh, we could go on and on
we
and
could,
on.
but we'll let you go, Tate, because we've already taken up a lot of your time.
But so maybe Tate will be back for his directorial debut
Yeah.
on the OC.
Got a lot of stories. A lot of stories about
I can't
that.
wait for those.
So hopefully you can.
Or I can.
Hopefully you can do it here in at the Cohen House.
Yeah, I get to come and see you guys. That would be the
Yeah,
best.
we would love that.
Yeah. And then
All
then one day we're going to actually recreate Camp Gallagher Capture the Flag.
Oh, yeah.
That
Peter
would be
said
awesome.
a reunion at some point for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if I can still do that many drugs. I don't know. I'll try. Get myself in shape.
Aw.
Okay. We love you.
Love
All right,
you,
love you
Tate.
guys.
Fantastic
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much.
Thank you for doing
That's
this
fantastic.
again.
And fantastic work. I love the show.
Aw.
It's so good.
Oh,
Thank
It's really
thank
good.
you so much for supporting us. Love you.
Mwah.
Bye.
Ciao.
Thank you so much for listening. Please follow, rate, and review. Welcome to the OC Bitches, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you like to watch us, check us out on YouTube and on HBO Max.
I don't know what I'm doing.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to start with the pilot episode and catch all of our episode recaps.